and will be discharged by this month end, will be refined in Brazil. It is understood that Bahamas flag tanker Cascade Spirit is carrying the crude shipment. A Petrobras spokesperson was quoted in the Nasdaq report as saying that the state-owned company is constantly on the lookout for different suppliers. In a recent interview with the media, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat had revealed that 2 crude lifts of 1 million barrels each were made last week. When it comes to how much money Guyana would make from these lifts, Bharat noted that that would depend on the world market price for crude. Prices for Brent crude are currently at US $110 a barrel.
Well, we already have a contract with Saudi Aramco for Destiny. Right? There's a 1-year contract. And then for Unity, we have been doing, in keeping with the crude lifting agreement, we have been doing the spot sale, accepting bids from the COVIs as well as other interested parties. And obviously we have been selling to the best offer that we receive. That's the bottom line for us, getting much as possible for the country. The best offer, once we get the best offer for the Unity or Destiny, we'll take it. Once it brings in more revenue for the country, we'll take it. Regardless, well, of course the company must have the capacity, but regardless who it is or which company it is, once we get the best benefits out of it, yes.
Back in April, for the first time in Guyana's short oil production history, Guyana had had as many as 2 oil lifts in 1 month. This was due to lifts from the Liza Destiny and Liza Unity FPSO vessels crossing paths. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Just months after a 20-year agreement was signed between ExxonMobil and the VREED-EN-HOOP Shore Base Incorporated, the sod has been turned on the US $300 million shore-based facility for Exxon at Port VREED-EN-HOOP. Here is Gerald Bryan again with the details.
The sod turning ceremony was held on Tuesday within the vicinity of the project site at Plantation Best, West Bank Demerara. It featured executives from the consortium as well as Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat and Minister within the Public Works Ministry Deodat Indar, who hails from the area. Also in attendance was opposition parliamentarian Ganesh Mahipal. In his address, Minister Bharat lauded the conglomerate for answering the government's call for investments throughout the country.
We are committed to ensuring that we spread the development throughout the entire country. And you would have seen that over the little less than 2 years that we have been in government, and for the 23 years from 1992 to 2015, that we ensure that development is spread across all the regions throughout our country. And with today's activity here, and with the call being answered by, I consider, the 3 young entrepreneurs who are taking the risk of investing into the VREED-EN-HOOP shore base, I think they must be commended for taking this initiative and answering the call of our government to forming consortium, to forming joint venture, so that Guyanese can invest in the oil and gas sector. Because we know that it is very high capital, it is capital intensive industry, it requires a lot of startup capital to invest in the oil and gas sector.
Minister Indar was meanwhile optimistic that the project would lead to huge economic spin-offs, not least of which include providing employment to the people of the region.
When I was a boy growing up, we never dreamed of having something like this kind of project and this kind of development coming to Region 3. I mean, for the 3 acres of shore base that is going to be used for oil and gas operations and whatnot, that will bring significant benefits into Region 3. It will make this region a hub, just as Region 4 is. I believe that it will also drive huge economic spin-off into different industry, supplies into developing of the shore base and operating it on this one side.
In April, Exxon and the VREED-EN-HOOP Shore Base Incorporated Consortium signed a 20-year agreement for shore-based services to be provided at the facility. The consortium includes Haddi's World Inc., represented by Asruddin Mohammed, National Hardware, represented by Nicholas Boyer, and ZRN Investments, represented by Andron Alfonso. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandalal has assured that the PPPC government is committed to having a broad-based stakeholder involvement in the constitutional reform process, including its composition. More in this Vanu Manikchan report.
Last week, Attorney General Anil Nandlal submitted government's broad-based proposal for the composition of the Constitutional Reform Commission. This includes 50% of the Commission's membership coming from both sides of the National Assembly and the other 50% from civil society organizations such as the Labour Movement, Private Sector Commission, the Guyana Bar Association, religious organizations, farmers organizations, and organizations representing women and youth. However, there have been some comments about academics being omitted from the government's proposal. But according to Nandlal, this was not deliberate. In fact, he noted that the commission would be assisted by experts and academics in carrying out its mandate.
But I don't hold the view that only lawyers should be on any commission, even though one that is largely legal, which is constitutional reform. But constitutional reform also requires non-lawyers and should be as broad-based as possible. Hence, the constituent element of that commission, as I explained, of how the commission should be comprised, you would see that it has farmers, it has the labor movement, it has religious organizations, private sector, etc. But the commission themselves, the commission itself was constituted, will have academics and experts to assist it in the discharge of its functions.
AG Nandlal submitted his proposal for the composition of the Constitutional Reform Commission last Friday in the absence of the APNU-AFC opposition, whose members once again displayed poor attendance at the Parliamentary Constitutional Reform Committee meeting. Nandlal had stated that the coalition would not be allowed to cripple or prevent the government from moving the country forward. Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Tuesday afternoon named the members of the International Commission of Inquiry that would examine the events of the 2020 general and regional elections, and Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo has cautioned that persons who refuse to participate in the inquiry can be subpoenaed. Meanwhile, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal has since explained that works are ongoing to establish the terms of reference for COI before the four-member team begins its work. Amar Prasad reports.
In keeping with calls from several sections of society and President Dr. Irfan Ali's commitment to ensure tumultuous events of the 2020 general and regional elections are investigated, the establishment of a commission of inquiry has been announced. Retired Justice of Appeal Stanley John of Turks and Caicos was named the chairman of the COI, while its members are former Attorney General, High Court Judge and Acting Justice of Appeal in the Eastern Caribbean, Godfrey P. Smith, former Chair and Chief Elections Commissioner of India, Dr. S.Y. Quarshi, and former Acting Chancellor of Guyana's Judiciary, Carl Singh. Before President Ali made his announcement, Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo hosted a press conference where he noted that the COI will be empowered to summon persons who are deemed important but refuse to participate to answer questions and provide evidence.
This commission of inquiry shall be very uncomfortable to the same people who are calling for the internal review, who have so boldly been calling for that. Suddenly, I think they've gone quiet because they realize that many of them would be subpoenaed to participate in such a review.
Jagdeo explained that the government had held back from doing the COI due to the number of persons currently before the courts on electoral fraud-related charges. However, Cabinet made a decision recently that the COI was needed.
So Ramjatan and the others may have to tell the public and COI how the Russians helped the PPP rig the elections. And Mr. Norton will have to present his statements of poll before the COI. They would then get a chance to present the evidence to the COI. So we had nothing to fear, and many times this opposition, they misunderstand our desire to move forward as a country as somehow a weakness, and that we are consciously moving forward and ignoring a lot of things because we just want to remain positive and we want to move the country ahead and address the task at hand. As I said before, if we are to prosecute the people for corruption on the land deals and all of the other shenanigans where ministers had companies that were in their own ministries getting contracts that they were signing the check for on behalf of the company. And we know cases like those with some ministers. If we were to go ahead and prosecute those, then we'll never come out of the courts.
Meanwhile, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal has stated that the terms of reference would have to be drawn, which will determine the jurisdiction and the parameters within which the COI will conduct its work. Those currently charged in relation to the 2020 elections are Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy CEO Roxanne Myers, former Region 4 Returning Officer Clermont Mango, among others. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
Coming up, Guyana reviewing proposals for buying forest carbon credits, and one more death, 107 new cases.
Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese ball, daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine snack, cheese balls, stuff cheese in every bite, flavor in every crunch. Extra cheese in me love it so much, love cheese in every bite. Grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese ball, daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls.
Grab a Sunshine Snacks Cheese Puffs today. More cheese, more flavor.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
Mobile Lubricants is more than just oil. It's many oils. The blends of oil give you higher mileage. Choose from your advanced synthetic blend or conventional. It is the best oil for your engine.
Mobile lubricant is the best oil for newer engineering of engines. Newer engines are much more close tolerance. Thus, this oil has a variety of grades and build-up properties to suit these engineering. Mobile lubricant keeps the engine oil seals in a uniform order and condition. Mobile lubricants withstands longer drain intervals. Why is this? Mobile lubricant has a very high detergent in its oil, and once fully synthetic oil is used, we can achieve this.
So, whatever is your engine needs, choose Mobile Lubricants. Proven performance for your engine.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
The International Building Expo is the only expo of its kind in the Caribbean, fostering homeownership and catapulting the construction sector with innovative and sustainable building practices, creating and advancing linkages among local, regional, and international stakeholders. It's the new frontier for building a One Guyana. The International Building Expo, commencing from July 22 at the Guyana National Stadium. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A mother is seeking more meaningful assistance from the police after her 15-year-old daughter went missing and is believed to have run away with her uncle. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that the Child Protection Agency was months ago told that the teen was having an inappropriate relationship with a taxi driver who is also regarded as her uncle.
29-year-old Sarita Evans, a mother of two, says her 15-year-old daughter ran away from home on Sunday afternoon. The family resides at Bat Settlement, West Coast, Berbice, Region 5. Within hours of the incident, a report was made to the Fort Wellington police station, and by the next day, Evans learned that the child was with an aunt in the same village, and the police were again informed.
When I take the police and go, she done gone away. But the auntie them don't say nothing at all. So the police them never carry the auntie them to the station and question them and ask them anything at all. According to Evans, the male is a taxi driver and his car is currently parked outside of his parents' house, but they have not been questioned. She said that the young man is well known to her. In fact, she referred to him as being the child's uncle. This is not the first report being made of the child running away with her uncle. The first incident allegedly occurred in February when the child was 14 years old. I was in Barbados with my husband working, and my daughter used to stay with my mother while I was in Barbados, and my sister used to get contact with my mother right in Barbados, Guyana, Bat Settlement, everything going on in Bat Settlement. So my sister used to send this guy to collect my daughter at my mother's house to go and help she do work and stuff like that. So come the relationship get for going on. But my mother didn't know, but she never tell me. She tell somebody else in America. Did you confront your sister about this? Yes, I confront. She said she know too, but she never tell me to. Evans said it was after her mother's passing that she found out what was happening and contacted the Child Protection Agency. The first time I catch her to the welfare said she gotta go back to school. I tell the welfare them that, well, she living with a stepfather, and the stepfather and I decide that we don't want she back in we home, so let's go to the girls' school or somewhere that the welfare them take she somewhere else. And the welfare them say, well, them don't have no choice because the father smoking, so they can't send she by the father. So they end up and send she by the auntie, and when they send she by the auntie now, I get to find out. Neighbors tell me that the boy still has gone reach she by the auntie house. And she asked to come home back, and I carry she to the welfare them. The welfare them tell me give she a second chance. And I say, okay, I will do that. And now when I carry she home, she start again. Evans feels that the police could play a more active role in the case. And I need the police them to do something about the story with him, because this is not the first time, this is the second time. The first time he get locked up for 3 days, he called me and tell me on the phone that he pay $100,000 for get loose. For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
Having gone out to register Guyana's forest carbon credits on the international market, the government is presently in possession of a number of proposals for purchasing these credits, which is currently reviewing. Gerald Bryan tells us more.
During a recent press conference, Vice President Dr. Barry Jagdeo gave an update on Guyana's efforts to sell its forest carbons. He noted that due to Guyana's measurement, reporting, and verification (MRV) system, Guyana's forest carbons are a strong product on the international market. This is reflected in a number of proposals Guyana has received to buy them.
Our product is very strong because, as I said before, we have one of few countries in the world that has had a robust MRV system for 10 years tracking any change in forest carbon. So our forest carbon is high quality. And having done that, preparing the market and the credits, the certification of those credits so that they have value, we went out to tender and we received several proposals. So those proposals are being assessed.
He explained that they approached the architect for RED Plus transactions, which listed Guyana's credits.
We went out to tender for the sale of the ecosystem, well, more forest carbon so far. You would recall that prior to that, since we got into office, we had approached the LEAF Arts, the architecture for RED Plus transaction, and we ultimately got our credits listed there, proposal approved by ART, and then they've been in the process of verifying our credits. So this is like an architecture that gives quality to your product.
Despite the strong interest in Guyana's products, however, Jagdeo recalled that President Dr. Irfan Ali himself had committed to no action being taken until LCDS 2030 is finalized. According to Jagdeo, this should happen in a matter of weeks, after which it will be brought to the National Assembly. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Several business owners whose businesses are being affected by ongoing infrastructural works under the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program in Sophia, Greater Georgetown, are benefiting from capacity building training to assist them during this challenging period. Lawana McAllister tells us more.
The two-day training comes just after the businesses benefited from the income allowances through the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program Livelihood Restoration Plan. Each allowance was based on the recorded income for the various businesses during the affected period. To be eligible, the business owners had to be operating businesses on a residential commercial lot and have legal rights to the land. The operating businesses fall within the following areas: Block X Lillian Dal, Section B Pattinson, Section C and D Turkine, and Section C Commons Lodge. At the launching of the training session, CHNPA Deputy Director and Community Development Donald Bascom said this is the second batch of business owners that are being trained. The first batch was trained in March.
We are here today to train the second batch of project affected persons. We would have observed this process back in March, where we would have trained and opened the training, made training available to 20 persons from the Sophia area. These are persons who were small business owners, as well as some of the cash crop farmers. We would have partnered with the Small Business Bureau, the Guyana Revenue Authority, that's GRA, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture through NARI, and they would have provided the necessary training for that first group.
The current batch will be trained in financial management, record keeping, entrepreneurial awareness, small business development, business regulation, and cash advisory.
We expect that this initiative will equip the persons who are benefiting from the training to build their capacity to save. It will enable the business households to invest in their businesses so as to ensure and maintain their livelihoods and overall improving their economic conditions.
Meanwhile, the business owners told the Evening News that the training was a great initiative.
My business was affected really bad due to the construction work that they had doing with the road. It was mainly pickup and delivery. And mostly riders will have to come and pick up the order and have it delivered and stuff like that. So they will complain about riding in and coming in the street because of the mud and all of these things. So I would normally have to walk outside. Walk through the street and give them the package because they would complain about it. So, and then customers wouldn't be able to drive in and all these things. So it affected really, really bad.
The training hasn't started. So we're here that I would make that pronouncement. At the conclusion, it really makes sense, I can tell you. I mean, the ideas are good. There's always lots of good ideas. According to how it goes, then it would come to a conclusion.
Reporting for the evening news, Luana McAllister.
Guyana has recorded a new COVID-19 related death, taking the country's death toll to 1,249. The latest fatality is an 85-year-old unvaccinated woman from Region 2, Pomeroon, Suriname. The country has also recorded 107 new cases of the virus, taking the total positives recorded to date to 66,695. There are 22 persons in hospitals, 2 of them who are in the ICU, along with 831 in home isolation. 1 person is in institutional quarantine, while the recovery stand at 64,591. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
There will be no closure of the Demerara Harbour Bridge on Thursday, June 23rd. However, the Barbers River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, June 23rd at 12 hours 40 for a period of 1.5 hours.
CPL and CWI launched 6-day ball cricket, and GPF takes first win as National Women's League launched. Details of these stories and more in the Sportscast sponsored by Macor coming up on the other side of the break.
Here's what's happening on Waterloo Street at John Lewis Styles during the month of June. Shop for Father's Day and you could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to Arrow Point Nature Resort. Buy any men's suit and get a free tie, or buy any men's pair of shoes and get a free pair of socks. Traveling this summer? Buy any luggage set and get a free travel pouch. Visit us on Waterloo Street for more choices and better prices. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Yeah, ready? We are so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything.
Sorry, son. Radhika, we go tomorrow.
We go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3000 better star generator. This will work your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby, and yes. Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and Mommy could even key start it, because all you have to do is hook up the battery and
visit us today at 31 High and Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
I big up your dal puri mill.
One plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, a sugar cane juicer, circle sir. We gotta get alright then that food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?
Try our virtual sports and win big with so much matches to choose from. Betting starts at $100. Play for your chance to win. Log on to www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents to place your bets. Terms and conditions apply. Have fun and play responsibly. Must be 18 and over to play.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Your child needs nutrients every day. ENFRAGROW has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. ENFRAGROW has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with ENFRAGROW. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Ultra Lubricants, the leading lubricants for tropical conditions, has been serving you for over 40 years, extending the life cycle of your vehicle's engine by protecting it from wear and corrosion, removes impurities, and reducing frequent vehicle oil changes. Ultra Lubricants is for every market, from two-wheel light vehicle to trucks, construction, agriculture equipment, mining activities, and boating. Ultra Lubricants, world-class lubricants for tropical conditions. Distributed by Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc. and available nationwide.